We are going to talk about transaction management. So in the previous sessions we have seen what are the asset properties, why we required asset properties to be there. So now in this sessions we are going to cover transaction and what are the advantages, what are the operations, what are the steps we have, what are the failure of reasons, what are the disadvantages for the transactions and examples. Okay, so whenever the interviewer asks you questions, what is a transaction? So it should be start with transaction is a set of logical operations. Okay, it's always a single unit. Okay, so what are the steps transactions involve? Read, write, commit and roll back. Okay, these are the four steps: read, write, commit and roll back. So for example, we now the example is like ATM machine. Okay, to withdraw a fund from ATM machine and bank transfer. So we'll illustrate more on this. So prior to this we'll understand what are the disadvantages of the transaction. Okay, so we know like transaction involve four steps: read, write, commit and roll back. Okay, so what happened when there is a transaction is going? Okay, you cannot change the information. Okay, so whenever the transaction is in executing, you cannot change the information within the transaction itself. Okay, that is one kind of disadvantages. Okay, second one is like you need to, I mean the user need to roll back the transaction. You cannot start over the transaction wherever it failed again. Okay, you have to start it from the start point itself. So these are the two advantages we have in the transaction itself. So what are the failure reasons? So what are the failure reasons we have? Yes, so transaction failure are of two types. One is logical errors and syntax error. So logically, like there might be some logical errors happen while writing the query. We'll see in the SQL part while covering. Syntax error, like very often while we write down different table name, okay, invalid table name, invalid DB name, etc. Okay, system failure, yes. So what happened, like when the transaction is executing but the system got failed, the various reason, maybe the power failure. Okay, that could be one reason. Third reason is like disk failure. So what happened, like whenever the database is stored on the file system, the usually file system are on the like an FS side of are on the SAN. Okay, so usually these are on-prem services, on-prem servers where you need to mount and unmount the file system. So there might be chances like the file disk may be file system may got failed. Okay, yes, so these are the reasons for the transaction failure. So to understand transaction management, let's consider for example as a ATM machine. So when you step into the ATM machine, you swipe your card. Okay, when you swipe your card, the machine will read your data. Okay, then you will going to pick up the type of language. Then once you pick up the language, it will ask you type of account you need to withdraw the fund. Once you picked it, then you are going to check either you want to check the balance or you want to withdraw the money. So let's consider you need to withdraw the money. So yes, so you will type, let's say for 5,000 rupees, and enter your pin. Okay, once the pin is entered, it will check whether do you have a sufficient balance that you can withdraw this much of amount. Otherwise it will throw you an error like you don't have enough fund to withdraw it. Okay, so that is one reason. Okay, that could be the steps. Yes, then once it got approved, you will get the money from the ATM machine. Okay, so this is how the transaction management works. So what are the steps involved here? It will mainly either read or write. Okay, it will read your the balance. Okay, it will read your balance and check whether you can withdraw it fund. Okay, once it is done, it will again going to write the balance into your account. Let's say there are 10,000 rupees in your account, so withdraw 5,000. So 10 minus 5, 5,000 would will be going to write into bank account itself. Okay, so read, write, and yes, the transaction got completed, hence it is commit. Okay, now let's imagine if the machine, there is a problem with the machine, or if there is no fund in the machine but the money got deducted. Okay, this more often we have seen. So what you need to do, either you need to check with the bank itself, but At the same time this transaction got failed, so this under this circumstances you must get your refund. So that's what the callback rollback is. Okay, so you can roll back, I mean the bank will roll back, or the machine itself or the database itself roll back the transaction, so that your account will be refunded back to your account. Okay, the second example, we have a bank fund transfer. So what happen usually, there is account A and account B. So these from we need to transfer the 5,000 rupees from account A to account B. So what will happen, what are the operations involved here? So first it will check whether do you have a valid balance of valid account valid not valid do we have enough balance in your account to to so that you can transfer the fund. Okay, so it will read, so let's say there is enough fund, 5,000 rupees is there in account, yes. Now it will going to be deduct from no, so it's going to be withdraw from account A, and it will be going to deposit. At the same time depositing, it is going to write the account B that the 5,000 is got added into the account B. At the same time account A will be withdrawal of 5,000 will be returned to the account itself. Okay, so this is how these four operations, transaction works in these four operations: read, write, commit, and rollback. Okay, yes, and the next next video we'll see deadlock and types of DBMS. Thank you.